Good morning, everyone. This is Curtis Hawks with Insurance Agency Marketing Services, and I want to thank everybody for taking some time to be with us today. We've got a very important topic to cover this morning. I've got Michele with our that oversees our Life New Business division with us today, and part of what we're going to be chatting through is what are some best practices when it comes to writing life insurance, and how do we make sure that once you get that application in, that we get that issued and out the door and paid. Before getting into that, I wanted to spend a little bit of time to chat a little bit about some of the additional resources that you have here available at IAMS. First off is our new producer builders. As you can see there, I've got a number of point totals up on the screen. And if you're a new producer with us in your first 6 months, you automatically get enrolled into this program. And you can see there as you produce life and annuity business with us and accrue your point totals, there's a number of different things you can qualify for, whether it's trips, cash, marketing dollars, or even vacations as well. And so if you've got questions on that, certainly feel free to reach out, talk to one of the sales directors over here. That number is 800-255-5055. In addition to that, once you've cashed in on your new producer bonus, you can qualify for a couple of different things. One is our marketing reimbursement, and you can see there that's $100 for every $100,000 of qualifying indexed annuity premium, and $200 for every $100,000 of single premium life or $10,000 of life target. In addition to that, at any time we've got a refer producer program. So if you know of an agent that maybe isn't quite happy with their current IMO relationship, or maybe you just think that they'd be a great fit over here, send them our way. Not only will you get a $50 bonus when they get contracted, but in addition to that, on an ongoing basis, you'll earn revenue based off of their production. You don't have to do anything. We'll take care of all the service and take care of that advisor, and you can sit back and cash checks. So if you've got questions on that, reach out and talk to a sales director over here. Again, that number is 800-255-5055. Back office support. Well, that's part of what we're going to talk about today, and some of the difference that I think we make with the advisors that we work with. But in addition to that, whether it's case design, new business processing, contracting commissions, we've got a host of resources available for you to help you grow and develop your business. And if you haven't tested this out yet, I would definitely encourage you to take advantage of it. In addition to that, we've got our IAMS website, and this really is an amazing resource. You can quote annuity and life insurance business on the site. You can do e-applications. You can download paper applications. We've got a host of different sales resources, including our sales resource library, which literally has hundreds of different point-of-sale pieces that you can instantly download right off of the website. You just need to be contracted with us, which if you've got questions on doing that, reach out and talk to a sales director over here. We also are very technology focused. We're going to spend a little bit of time talking about e-applications today, but you can see here, these are the 3 e-app pipelines that you can access right on the IAMS portal. To take it a little bit further, here's a breakdown of what we've got on Firelight. And then you can see there that we've got a handful of life carriers that do integrate with Firelight. The rest of them will integrate with iPipeline. And we'll chat a little bit more about that later in the presentation. Our creative marketing solutions, I think this is very, very important. Your brand and how you market that, I really think has evolved over the years. It used to be that you were just competing against people in your local marketplace, but with the growth in the virtual appointment space, oftentimes you're competing with people that aren't even in your area, and so it's placed, I think, a greater level of importance on your virtual brand. And so the team over here does an amazing job, whether it's web design, social media, presentations, even direct mail. I mean, we still do a lot of direct mail pieces and newspaper ads, all those types of things. So I would encourage you, if you haven't used them, definitely reach out, talk to your sales director, and chat with them about any projects that you might have. I'd also mention to you as well that if you're not quite sure what you need to do and what that should look like, take advantage of our complimentary marketing analysis process. We'll go through, take a deep dive into your business, how you're currently marketing, what your goals are, and craft the right marketing plan for you. In addition to that, AUM has been a growing topic over the last several years. In fact, I'm going to launch our first poll here of the day. But We work with a lot of advisors that are wanting to incorporate AUM into their practice, and so that's part of why we developed IAMS Wealth Management. If that sounds like you, reach out, talk to Duncan and Charles and the team over there, and they can chat with you about some of the services that we have available. Or if you are currently securities licensed and just not quite happy with your current relationship, give us a call as well. We think that this is going to be a growing trend, and it's definitely an important item to consider, and to add that as a spoke in your wheel of services that you offer your clients. So I'll go ahead and get this closed down here. Get to our next slide here. So our Life and Annuity Academies. These really are an amazing opportunity to spend some time working on your business. When you're out in the field, you're working in your business. You're dealing with the IMOs, the carriers, you're prospecting, marketing, dealing with clients. These 2-day trainings are really an amazing opportunity to take a couple of days and work on your business. What are the current annuity trends? What are the current life trends? What are the top marketing systems that are out there? Listen to top advisors in the marketplace and what they're doing. In fact, I'll go ahead and I'll launch our second poll here. But not only will we cover topics that you can integrate into your practice that can generate long-term results, but we can also we'll also cover topics that you can leave and immediately integrate into your practice and see a tangible benefit. And so I'd encourage you, if you feel like that's an area of opportunity for you, definitely check yes to talk to one of the sales directors. We do several of these events throughout the course of the year, but I can tell you they fill up very, very fast. We typically have a waiting list to get into these events, and so they're a great opportunity. We definitely make it worth your time. And again, I'm going to close this down here in just a moment. But if you've got interest, definitely check yes, and I'll have somebody from our sales team reach out to you. Next up, we've got our Seaside Sanctuary. So amazing trip that we have lined up here. We've really designed it to be an experience of a lifetime. And so with that, we still got some time left in qualification period. In fact, we've also got double production points going right now for Athene production. So if you've got an Athene case, definitely reach out, talk to a sales director over here about that, because it will count double for that. If you've got questions on what your point standings are, you can either reach out to a sales director, or we've also got this on the IAMS portal as well, and you can see it. Lastly, make sure to like and follow us on LinkedIn and Facebook. We post a lot of great content out via email, social, phone calls, etc. But this is one of the quickest ways to see updates and what we have going on over here at IAMS. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to our main presentation for today. A second here. So with me today, I've got Michele Kosiol. She is the head of Life New Business. And one of the things that we wanted to cover was, what are some trends that we see in the life new business space? What are some best practices that you can incorporate into your business? Because our goal is aligned with yours, which is we want to make sure that we're giving you the best support possible. When you've got a client that wants to move forward on something, how do we help them get that policy and get that paid? So with that, I'll go ahead and hand it over to Michele, and appreciate you taking some time to spend with us today.
Good morning. Thank you. Again, we're just going to go over some best practices for the life insurance and how we can help you get your business placed and move through the underwriting process a little quicker. So first of all, our office assists with illustrations, and our life directors are here to help figure out what carrier is the best carrier to place your business with. That's what we're here for. We're here to help you with any questions in regards to any type of medical issues, or just general questions on how to get started or where you need to go to get started. We do review paper applications. We like to see them come through the EAP process because, again, that is quicker. It is guaranteed for it to be complete and not have to keep going back and forth to try and get a completed paper application. So if there's any questions on where to access those EAPs, give us a call. Any of the life case managers are happy to walk you through how to get one of those completed. We do communicate with the agent throughout the process. So anytime we get any new updates, we are letting the agents know, and we're walking you through that process as we are going through it. We do order the Paramed exams and medical records through our office when the underwriter is requesting those. We do have a handful of carriers that order their own, but we like to order those so that we have access to them. And if we are to get an adverse rating or anything, we are able to look at those and see if we can get it placed within a different carrier. Once the policy is enforced, that does not mean that we are done. That means that if there's any questions on any enforced policies, or if you need to know what the paid to date is, or if you want to do a conversion, we're here to help with that as well. So before submitting an application, we like to pre-screen. Again, that helps us get the client where we need to have them to begin with, so that we don't have to do multiple applications, and so that we can get it in, approved, and placed in force for the client.
I think we've got something exciting that we've done here recently as well, which is we've added an in-house underwriter to the team.
Yes, and she's been wonderful. She's been helping with some of the adverse ratings and with some of the declines too. She's been looking into them and seeing where we can get them placed, if we can get them placed elsewhere. So yeah, she is an amazing addition to our team, and I'm very excited to be able to have that for us.
Yeah, that was, I think, a big deal. In fact, be on the lookout, because I believe we've got a webinar scheduled next week where she's going to be going through best practices when it comes to field underwriting. And so she definitely brings a wealth of knowledge to the team.
Yes, she does. And if you have any questions in regards to any health issues or history or anything that the client is experiencing right now before submitting the application, please call in and have a conversation with her. Her name is Andrea, so you can just call us, and she'll be more than happy to talk with you and go through some of those things with you. We do like to set expectations with the clients in regards to timeframes, exams, and inspections. So once an application is submitted, if an online part 2 is needed, we're going to reach out to you and we're going to let you know, hey, that's been sent over to the client, or the client needs to call in to get that completed. The sooner we can get those done, the sooner we can get the file to underwriting. That seems to be one of our holdups, is those online part 2s and those phone interviews. So if we can get that expectation to the client and let them know, same with Paramed exams.
Yeah.
When we order the Paramed exams, we let you know, hey, the Paramed exam's been ordered. Please let your client know to be expecting a call from the examiner so we can get that scheduled as soon as possible. So we're trying to give you guys those expectations to pass over to the clients as it's happening.
Yeah, and if you've got questions on that, I mean, if you've got a case and it's maybe a carrier you're not familiar with, ask the sales director. They can chat with you about that, or talk to one of the members of the Life New Business team. We're more than happy to go through that with you, so that way you can set those expectations with the client.
Yes. Another one of the big things is if you are talking to a sales director and they're running illustrations for you, and there's a carrier that really catches your eye, make sure that you have your contracting completed before submitting that business. We will have to hold that business, and sometimes we will have to have that application rewritten because of dates. So just make sure that you are contracted before you submit that business. And then lastly, make sure you are registered on our website. As Curtis had explained earlier, it is a very valuable piece to our business. You can go in and you can run your term illustrations on there instead of having to call in and wait for us, or if it's after hours, you can run those quotes yourself. You can run the UL quotes on there yourself. Access the applications. That way you don't have to wait for us or the next business day to get those completed. You can submit those at that time that you're meeting with your clients. If you are going to be completing a paper app, call in, make sure that you have the most current application packet. That way, again, we can avoid from having to come back to you and say, these are outdated forms, or this form is outdated, and to help you not have to go back to your client as well. We want to try and get you the most current, up-to-date applications, just so you can go to that client one time for these applications. Make sure that the client is disclosing all of the confidential information. If anything's marked yes, we have to make sure that there's an explanation for that yes answer if it is requested. Citizenship and foreign natives, a lot of the carriers are going to request a copy of their visa, their green card, or proof of citizenship for foreign citizens. So if you know that you have a foreign citizen that has a visa or a green card or is applying for citizenship, try and include a copy of all of that with the application. So we don't have to go back and request that later.
Well, and I think another good point on that too is, there's so much variance from carrier to carrier on what they will and won't take. If you've got a foreign national, I would definitely call in, talk to one of the sales directors, talk to Andrea, and let us go through there and make sure that we're starting with the right carrier. Because especially on something like that, we can usually find a home for it, but the issue is all the carriers treat it so differently. So you want to make sure you're going down the right path from the get-go versus we get into it and then carrier won't take that, but carrier B will, and then we got to restart again.
Right. Submitting applications, again, if at all possible, go to our website, use the iGo pipeline or the Firelight. For that, it is the fastest way. It does make sure and ensure that everything is correct and all information is obtained before you can submit that application. Whereas paper apps, things do get missed. We are human and we do miss things. If you are doing a paper application, you can upload that to our website at iamsinc.com. You can email it to the life@iamsinc.com email address, or you can fax it to us at the 402-330-7296. If you are doing a paper app, please make sure that all of the personal medical information is completed along with the beneficiary information. If there are any yes questions to the medical questions, then we of course need that information. The more information you provide us up front, the less we have to get on the backside.
Yep.
And then just remember that just because it says it's a non-med and that it's an accelerated underwriting, that does not mean that it's a guarantee issue. Some carriers, they get qualified for their MVR, their motor vehicle report, their credit, their health background checks. I know I'm missing some.
There's a host of different things, and that's the thing I think is, as we've had carriers roll out more options, which I think is a good thing. I definitely think it's a good thing to have more options available to consumers. I also think it's added to a little bit of the complexity with it. So I mean, it used to be you had just fully underwritten and guaranteed issue, and then you had simplified issue, and now you've got accelerated underwriting in the mix as well, which we definitely see a lot of cases go through that a lot quicker. But it is something to be cognizant of, that accelerated underwriting is not the same as simplified issue, where they're taking a more limited approach to underwriting, or even guaranteed issue where they'll take it. So if you've got that, again, a good opportunity to chat with a sales director over here or somebody on the new business team to talk through it, to see if we think it'll make it through accelerated underwriting, or if we think we need to do traditional underwriting on it, or simplified issue or guaranteed issue. And I think it also goes back to what we chatted about a little bit on the previous slide, which is making sure that you're able to set the right expectations for that consumer. So people are inherently wired to follow a process. And so if you lay out a process of what to expect with them, then they're not surprised if they've got to do a Paramed exam, or we've got to order medical records, or any of those types of things.
Right. So, yeah. During the underwriting process, a lot of our carriers are going to the part twos, whether it be online or via phone call. This is so that they ask those medical questions. I know a lot of times it's hard to ask some of those questions, so they're wanting to do that for you. Encourage them to complete those interviews as quickly as possible, because again, the longer it takes for them to complete that, the longer it takes for us to get it to the underwriter for review. And if they're completing the online part two or the non-med paper, again, make sure that everything that is marked yes has details, and we want it as detailed as possible. More details there are, again, the less chances you're going to have us coming back to you asking for additional information.
Yeah, and if you've got questions on that, give us a call because I do know when we go on a lot of cases, probably one of the biggest areas of opportunity is on those electronic part twos. You know, that client is not going to necessarily, when they initially call, maybe know that 800 number, and so we're going to make sure to email that out to you, and they don't have to wait for the phone call. I mean, you can have them call in, and then on that electronic part two, you know, it is coming from an email address that they haven't got before, so they might miss it or it might go into their spam folder. Most of the time it does go in their inbox, but you definitely want to be cognizant of that and make sure that they're looking for it. And with many of the carriers, it's almost instantaneous. I mean, it's within a couple of minutes they should get that. So
Yeah, definitely.
if we can get that completed, that allows everything to really accelerate through the process.
When the carrier does require a Paramed exam, the examiner is going to go through all of this with the client, but I just think it's important for the agents to know too, just kind of as a reminder to the clients to reach out to their client like the day before, just as a reminder, you know, to hey, you need to fast at least 4 to 6 hours prior to your exam. Be well hydrated, drink plenty of water. This helps with the urine and the blood draws. We see a lot of cases that come back where the examiner has to go back to the client because they couldn't do a blood draw or the client couldn't provide a urine. Again, we want to try and get this done in one time and try to get it done as quickly as possible. One of the big things also is to avoid alcohol. Don't drink alcohol for at least 12 hours prior to the exam. That can skew their lab results. So we just want to make sure that, you know, that they're doing all the right steps to be prepared for the Paramed exams.
Well, that's a really good point. I mean, I feel like, you know, I think we on the call, we know these things when we talk about a Paramed exam, but it is helpful to mention that to the client because, I mean, we do have scenarios where somebody went out the night before and it's like, okay, yeah, you maybe didn't eat or drink anything in the last 12 hours, but you went out partying the night before. Or, you know, we had a case the other day where Paramed examiner goes out there to do that, and the client's like, well, I fasted, but I had a glass of orange juice this morning for breakfast. Well, that's going to jack up your glucose levels, and all of a sudden it's looking like you've got diabetic issues when in reality you don't. And so it's good to touch on those things with the client when you know when a Paramed exam is going to be needed.
Right. Also, avoid caffeine and nicotine for at least 1 hour prior. Make sure that the client has a list of their prescriptions and dosages and their physician's names. They're going to need those for the Paramed exam because those are going to be some of the questions that get asked. If they do have to do an EKG, make sure that they're wearing comfortable clothing. Nobody wants to walk on a treadmill or have to do any type of those tests in their work clothes.
Yeah. And just to touch on, because I know we got some questions on this on the last webinar, but on the nicotine and caffeine, that's not so that way somebody shows negative. That's for if you've got somebody that you know is a smoker, make sure that they don't smoke or chew or what have you for an hour before the test, because what that can do is increase their heart rate. So then when they're taking the blood pressure reading, it might show elevated when in reality it's not, but they just smoked a cigarette or what have you.
Yep. So what happens once your case is approved? Your case manager is going to request issue instructions from you. What that means is if it was approved, better than applied for, and if there is an offer of increasing the face amount, we need to know how the client wants to proceed. You know, do they want to do the 1.5 million that they applied for, or do they want to do the 3 million that they were approved for? And then if it's an adverse rating, you know, do we need to mess with the premiums, or do we need to lower the face amounts to make it more affordable for the client? If it is an adverse rating, again, we'll have our in-house underwriter look at it and see if she can get it somewhere else also. If the case manager is unable to get a more favorable rating, we will go to Andrea. She's included on those emails that get sent out to the agents. So she knows what's going on. She knows what cases are being declined and what cases are coming back at an adverse rating. We'll either have a paper policy or an e-policy sent out. If it's an e-policy, make sure that the client's watching for those emails so that they can get those delivery requirements completed as quickly as possible so we can get it placed in force. And then once all delivery requirements are completed and submitted, our office will notify you and let you know what that policy effective date is, and if you have any questions on when you'll get paid commissions or anything, we'll be able to answer those questions once the policy is placed in force. Our IAMS contacts, this is a list of our
some of our sales team.
Yep, sales team.
Got them up there, and then
that's our life new business team. So if there's any questions on any of the cases that you're holding or that you're needing answers for, you can give us a call. Just one thing so you know, each case manager is assigned certain carriers. That way we can all be proficient on those carriers and we don't have to know everything about every carrier. However, if you call in, you can ask for any of us and any of us can help you.
So a couple of things here as we're wrapping up. So as you guys know, September was Life Insurance Awareness Month, and so we did put together a very robust guide. I know we got that out to a lot of reps, but that package is really good for just any time throughout the course of the year. It's got everything that you need if you're wanting to position and sell life insurance. Secondly, we've got our Life Insurance Best Practices Guide. And that is in greater detail overview of what we covered today. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and launch our final poll of today. But if you're interested in getting that life insurance sales kit, if you're interested in getting that best practices guide that does a deep dive on, what should you look at, how should you approach things, etc. Both of those are great resources to take advantage of. The other thing I think I would touch on is, and I think this comes through in the presentation, but we do really try to take a proactive approach. I mean, the team's not sitting there just waiting to get an update from the carrier. I mean, we're proactively statusing these. We're proactively reaching out to the carriers. And then the other thing, too, is we're reaching out to you. I know a lot of IMOs just work off of email, and they'll send email updates. And we're wanting to get on the phones and have conversations.
Yep. So our case management team, you're gonna get phone calls from them. They're not gonna just push out emails. That's not what we're here to do. We're here to help manage those cases, and in order to manage those cases, we need to have those conversations with you. So you will notice an influx of phone calls from our case managers because we're wanting to reach out to you. We're wanting to have those conversations with you.
Yeah, I mean, we completely understand that time kills deals. So the quicker we can get a case in and get it back out, the higher probability of success. And so the team is aggressively working those. So, I'll go ahead and I'll close this poll down. And, what I'd leave everybody with is we really appreciate you taking the time to be with us today. And just know that, we understand this is a relationship business. We understand that it's not easy doing what you do, and we're here to be a helpful resource for you. And so we hope you know and understand that we are dedicated and committed to helping you get these cases across the finish line. And, again, one of the best ways is give us a call. Have conversations with us. We're here to help. And we appreciate everybody taking the time to be with us today, and hope everybody has a good rest of the day and a good rest of the week. Thank you.